This is why TEEMO is still the best legend in Riftbound, even after the bans. The game started out with a really good hand. With my opponent going first, he had drawn nothing, and so he had to pass to me. I then started out with a great play, having an overzealous fan into a stacked deck, which I ended up going with the Ancient Warmonger, this being the first time I've played with this card. Back on his turn, he dropped a Fiora, and it went back to me. I then brought the fan to the Bandle tree, where I then hit a switcheroo and my TEEMO, and it went back to him. Then decided to challenge my overzealous fan.
What's 17 more years?
So I had to flip over TEEMO, effectively killing the fan. He then decided to move over to the Sunken Temple, getting him his first point, where he dropped another Fiora. I literally hate that card. With him being tapped out, I decided it was finally time to use the Warmonger. So then I paid all the runes to accelerate it and brought him over to Fiora, effectively getting rid of Fiora, getting me a third point, and ending my turn with a Consult the Past hidden. Back on his turn, he brought Fiora over to the temple, where I flipped over the Consult the Past and drew a few cards. And I guess he just wanted to trade, letting her go, where he then played his third copy. Oh my god. And using a first mate to ready her, bringing her back to the temple. Back to me, I had a pretty interesting idea. I had 8 runes and 2 Sprite Mothers, and you can see where this is going. With him being tapped out, I dropped both Sprite Mothers and brought both of the sprites over to Fiora, effectively getting rid of her and getting another point. Back on his turn, he played a Doran's Blade, equipping it to the first mate, then bringing it over to the Sunken Temple, getting another point. He then played a set in base, and it went back to me. Back on my turn, I went to 6 points and started out by hiding a Sprite Call. I then decided to try to Rocket Barrage his set in the back line because I had a Stupefy in my hand, which he ended up using Riposte and giving the buff to the first mate, effectively ruining my plan, but that's okay. And from there, I decided to pass back to him. Back on his turn, he spent the buff for set and decided to challenge TEEMO. That's not nice. Which then made me flip over my Sprite Call, and I had to get rid of TEEMO. So sad.
Look how they massacred my boy.
He then brought Set over to the Bandle tree, and as he did, I then flipped over a switcheroo, and thankfully he had nothing to counter in hand. And with Set going to the discard, he dropped a Ruin Runner, and it came back to me, where I then top decked the best card possible. With him being tapped out, this was perfect. I turned 2, recycle 2, and decided to rebuke the first mate, moving both Sprite Mothers to both battlefields, effectively securing me 8 points. Where he then said this.
Yeah, that was good. Nothing I could do about that.
And now you know.